Madison Conklin. Imagine a hotter world, not just in the months of the summer, but every day. Imagine a world where there's great storms and droughts. A world where the population is starving because crops are dying and because crops can't live in the soil that is so dry. Imagine a world where illness is increasing in humans. And because illness is increasing, deaths are increasing. Death will no longer be uncommon. Because of the increasing number of deaths, there will be economic hardships. The cost of health insurance will increase. Workers will be too sick to go to their jobs, meaning production will be decreasing. This will mean economies will fall. Some say it sounds like an apocalypse. They believe that this can't happen and it won't happen. But it will happen. And it will happen if nothing changes. It is our own fault, though. We as humans create so much pollution that our world will die soon. And we as humans need to fix this. An easy way is to implement new energy sources into our everyday lives. One of these sources is solar energy. Solar energy is proudly increasing in popularity. And it is important that your understanding of solar energy and power becomes greater because it may be critical to improve your future. Now, what is solar energy? Solar energy is any type of energy generated by the sun. The word solar meaning relating to the sun. Solar energy is also a renewable energy source. This means that it is naturally regenerated. Now, how does this work? In complicated words, the sun has fusion. Fusion occurs very rapidly. It is where hydrogen atoms collide with one another and they fuse together to become helium atoms. This produces a lot of energy that comes down to the earth as sunlight. This light hits photovoltaic cells in solar panels, where it is then implemented into inverters that convert direct current electricity into alternating current electricity. This electricity is what we use in homes and buildings and these lights here. In simple terms, a large amount of energy comes down as light. The light is then collected and then converted into electricity. Now that we know what solar energy is, it's important to know what we can do with it. The AC electricity is the current used in wall sockets that charge your phone. It's also used in lights, and it is used for appliances. Now, solar energy is not just for electricity, it can also be used as heat to heat up buildings and to heat up water. Now, in more natural ways, if you hang dry your clothes outside, solar energy is also what dries your clothes. It is also used in photosynthesis and heating the earth. Now, in more recent days, the research has gone to electric cars and electric roadways. These roadways will be solar panels that can hold the weight of transportation. And they will be able to provide electricity to cities in large quantities. Now, the majority of the global solar power is coming from China, India, and the US, with the Middle East not too far behind. And in the US alone, more than 64 gigawatts of solar power is installed. This provides enough power for 12.4 million people. Now, We know what it can do for us, but there are some positives and negatives to this. The negatives, as you can see from the picture here, this is the largest solar power plant in the world. This is in Morocco. In 2020, this one solar plant will provide enough energy for 1 million homes. As you can see, it takes up a lot of space. And because it takes up a lot of space and there's a lot of systems, these systems may overheat. This requires a lot of water to cool it down. This may affect the natural life around the solar plant. However, there's a way to fix this. These power plants can be placed at sites where farming may not be able to happen because of soil or something, and then they can be placed at abandoned mines, or they're placed most commonly in deserts where natural life is at a minimum. Another thing that can be negative is that these plants and installing systems can be expensive. Now, at the beginning, they are expensive when installing, but however, they will decrease the amount you pay each month. It does decrease how much you will pay. Another thing that people worry about is that when it's cloudy outside, they believe that they don't get any sunlight. And because of that, they won't get any electricity and they won't have power for the day, but that is incorrect. You do still get some power out of cloudy days. It's just you won't receive the maximum amount. Now, some positives, and there are more of these, is that solar energy does not produce any air pollution and it does not produce any water pollution. It also reduces the strain on non-renewable sources, which have a finite limit to them. Another positive is that it is renewable, meaning it's naturally regenerated, and it is very abundant. So as long as we have the sun, we will also have solar energy. Plus, solar energy can be stored and used for later. We use them and store them in batteries, kind of like what you put in an Xbox controller, a TV remote, or a toy. These batteries, you can just hook them up, maybe when it's a cloudy day and you don't get as much energy, they will provide you the energy you might need. Now that we know what's positive and negative, it's important to know what we can do. To avoid immense heat changes, storms, droughts, and the inevitable death, using alternative energy sources such as solar energy is a good thing. It will improve your future. There are so many different uses for solar energy. You can go about your day as normal, but you will be leaving a smaller carbon footprint on the Earth. There are a lot of positive effects on the environment, and it will be good for you in the long run. And even though there are some negatives about having solar plants, they are not as bad as what we are doing to the Earth today. It is important to understand what you can do to improve your future. Thank you.
Good. What made you pick this topic?
Growing up in a really small town, I was really interested in space because there wasn't much to do. And since I really love space, I